Welcome to Hot to Trot. I'm Ashley Eisenbiel.
And I'm Donnell Mock.
And we are here to give you the ins and outs of horse racing in Pennsylvania. And this is not your normal horse racing podcast.
No, it's not. We bring you behind the scenes, some special insights. We put you in the hot seat with our guest. And, we are even letting our fans and listeners tell us who you want to see in the hot seat, who you want to see be a guest, and what questions to ask. So make sure to follow us on our social media platforms. We're on all of them at Penn Horse Racing, and DM us who you want to see on our show and what questions you want to be asked.
Yeah, we're open for suggestion. Well, today we have a really special guest here. Not just one, but two. We have the big dogs of harness racing. We have Ron Burke and Mark Weaver coming on.
Yeah, I'm sure their names you've heard before. We're really excited to have them. Ronnie is over 11,000 wins, Hall of Fame trainer. Mark Weaver, one of the biggest owners in harness racing. Both great guys. We're so excited to hear from them today.
And then also in our Racing for Love segment, we have Erin McClellan Connors, a trainer at Penn National, and her husband, John Connors. They're newlyweds, so I cannot wait to hear about the honeymoon year they've had so far.
Yeah, Racing for Love is always a fun segment. We love to hear from our couples and how it is to work together, live together. It's a fun dynamic that we can't wait to hear from today.
Exactly. So hope you enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Well, again, thank you guys so much for being here today and taking time out of your busy schedules to be on our podcast.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you guys on. So let's go ahead and get started with who wants to tell us kind of how you guys got started together, the story of how you guys started this huge empire?
I mean, basically, it was me and you sitting together in the 2-minute clip upstairs because you had kids and I didn't want to hear other people talk. And basically, we started talking, and then, we had another trainer, but we ended up getting horses in New Jersey together.
Yeah, we had a lot of similarities. He was always borrowing $20 off people, so I would loan him money every week. And we did. We vacationed in a lot of the same spots. Our kids were the same age.
I forgot that too. Yeah, we both were big fans of Charleston, South Carolina, and that's how one of the times you said you were going vacation, and I said, I am too, and you said, I'm going to Charleston. I said, very funny. You're like, no, I'm serious. And so we hooked up and hung out down there. That's right.
Yeah. So we just kind of started there, and just kind of, we were both looking to grow a little bit outside of the meadows, and just kind of took off from there. And that's been, it's been, I think, 20 years. It'll be.
That's like that. I knew it was more than 15, but I lose track now anymore.
Yeah, I think it was 2004, so it's almost 20.
So it was lemon pepper. I know that. The horse was lemon pepper.
Yeah.
So you started out in Jersey together. How did you guys decide to keep growing and get more and more horses? I mean, how many horses do you own now, Weaver?
Probably around 400, maybe 415, 420 after the yearling sales. It's a constant, it's a steady growth, but I think we're about peaked out. Although I would have said the same thing 5 or 6 years ago, but I would guess we have probably around 400, but that includes broodmares and yearlings and weanlings. We've gotten a lot more into the breeding game.
It's over 400 because I know we have that many, and I don't think we have a horse that we don't own with you now. We used to have the one mare, Hip Huggers, and her babies, but they're all gone. So I don't believe we have a horse now that we don't own, that we own, that you don't own.
Yeah, all of our Burke Racing and Weaver Shemmy own the same, and then Ronnie probably trains another, I would guess, 30 to 35 for
at the most.
Yeah, I keep track of them. I'm trying to protect them. But most of them are elite type horses that, that I think it's great for him to get the opportunity to train horses like Atlanta or It's Academic or Rayleigh something, ones that are Breeders' Crowd type horses.
How do you keep track of the horses, Ronnie? How do you know which horse is where, and how do you keep track of all of it?
Twice a week, every barn has to turn in to me the horses they're looking at, that they're staring at that moment, and what groom takes care of them. So that I, not only do I know which horses are where, I know who's taking care of each one. And that's as much as anything, that if I start seeing, one group of horses that's underperforming, you need to look at, is it the barn? Is it the groom? Is it, those horses are in the wrong, area. We should move them. And Mark stays up on it too. He's pretty like into it. Like he'll notice if horses have, switched barns and started to slip and maybe need to move to another barn.
Wow. Weaver, do you watch all your horses race? One?
I would say probably 80%, whereas Ronnie's probably 99%. Some of them I enjoy more than others, but I won't let it keep me from, not that I go out often, but I won't let it keep me from doing other stuff where Ronnie, I think he more bases his life around making sure he's at home when his horses race.
It's just with me, I have to make decisions that right after the race of things that need to be done. Mark's decisions can be made the next day. There's really no, if a horse needs to be sold, he can be sold the next day. It doesn't mean he need to be sold 5 minutes after the race.
Yeah, my main role is acquiring new horses.
And you're better about watching replays. Mark will watch replays. I will not. If I miss the race, I ain't watching it. I don't care if it's the Breeders' Crown, whatever. I don't watch it the second time. I watch it once. That's it. I'm done with it.
Mark, do you enjoy like a preference getting the babies or claiming horses more?
Initially, I would have private purchases has always been kind of my favorite thing. But in the yearlings, I'm honestly not a fan of buying them. The homebreds, though, blow both of those things away. It's the success we've had this year. We were first, second, third in the Breeders' Crown with the 2-year-old Payson fillies. We've had a lot of great moments. That was probably the best. So the homebreds and supporting our stallions like Sweet Lou, all bets off, and Summa Cum Laude and some of the other ones. And then when their horses race, it's probably my favorite part of the game at this point.
Yeah, you guys had a really good Breeders' Crown, and then Sweet Lou. I mean, it's been a year for him.
Yeah, no, it's a plan that came together perfectly with that. I'd still like, to me, the most fun is getting racehorses and racing them the next week. Like that is still the most fun. Like, yeah, like for the Breeders' Crown, that was the best, but you get that once a year. You get the thrill of new horse we do because of us, how we do it once a week or twice a week. It's still the most fun to go out, and see, are they going to go better? Or are they going to go worse? It's like a new toy every week. That's the part I really do like.
So do you think it's just as exciting to race like an overnight as it is the stake races? Like you just enjoy it either way?
Maybe not as exciting, but still exciting. Winning's winning. Like I said all the time, I tell people, I like winning qualifiers. I don't care. I get that rush. And to me, it's still now even more. Before it was more the money, and now I'd say it's 50-50. It's the money and the rush. We can make money by owning stallion shares and stuff like that, but that's not fun. Winning is fun.
So since you like winning so much, when you got in the bike the few times that you did and won, is that even better that when you're driving them and they win?
Yeah, you know what? I always thought that when I was driving, I liked the winning even more there, but I really hate the losing when I'm driving. Now I just go, idiot, Ronnie ran, and then just walk away and I forget about it. When you're the idiot, you got to be like, Jesus, what did I do there? So it made it a lot easier for me to get over the losses not driving them. When I drove all our horses, first of all, I lost at a higher rate. And second of all, I didn't enjoy the losses even more.
Weaver, how long does it take? Do you text after a race if a horse race is bad? Like how much of an annoying owner would you say you are?
Nah, Ronnie would say I'm probably as easy as they get. I'm not never after a horse race is bad. But Ronnie can speak on that.
Yeah, he's the voice of reason. I'm the one going off the edge, going off F these things. This thing's got to go, blah, blah. And he's like, that wasn't that bad. Whatever. I can still remember one of his friends came to the Meadowlands when we were just starting. He said, we won't get any checks today. Don't scope them. Don't pull blood. It's just how it'll be. And I was like, why? He's like, this guy's bad luck. I guarantee you. And we did. We didn't get a check. I was like, this is the worst night. He said, I told you it was going to happen. Next week, all the 4 of the 5 won. And he's like, I told you, don't worry. Sometimes it's just other things.
I can be a little superstitious at times. So
Yeah.
that guy, he is a black cat. I won't mention any names.
Leave him at
He
home.
probably knows who he is. But yeah, no, we have a good group like that as a whole. Like maybe a couple guys are a little more likely to complain than others, but for the most part, we enjoy the highs and we don't get too down on the lows. It helps when you've got 100 or 200 horses racing a week. You just kind of wait 10 minutes and you got another one. So, but yeah, as a group, we're okay.
Do you have a favorite horse you've ever owned? Since you've had so many good ones, how do you pick who's been your favorite?
Yeah, that's tough. I'm sure we're the same on that too. I mean, foiled again, and I don't know if you see the shirt there, but he's a lot of people's favorites, and Sweet Lou. But I think Ronnie maybe has a couple. It's a little different for him because he's around him every
I fit
day.
behind him. Yeah, that's for me. It'd be Foiled, Mission Brief, and Lou. I mean those, and then like a horse nobody ever heard of, Embassy Omega, who is probably the reason I'm in this. It's most definitely the reason. It's why I do this. It was the first one where I thought like I could do things other people maybe didn't.
Well, I have to say, Mark, I loved your sneakers at the sale. You have to give those a plug. They deserve like their own like web page.
I should have brought them up here with me. I forgot, but yeah, there's Sweet Lou sneakers that a friend of ours Jamie down in Australia, he had them made. I got him Little Brown Jug tickets, and he didn't want to. I wouldn't let him pay, so he said, "I'm going to pay you one way or another." So he set the jug. He set those as payment, and they're pretty cool. They got a lot of love, and I think they are going to start selling them to the public. So
it's the first time I've ever been jealous of anything Mark wore ever. They were nice. Those things are nice.
They are. I went right to the website because you tagged it to see what other horses they had. I was like, this is so cool. I've never seen horse racing sneakers.
Yeah, they're nice.
That was a good thank you gift. I should take notes from him.
I know.
I need friends like that to get me like cool racing apparel.
Donnell's got to step her game up.
Yeah.
I know. I don't have as nice of shoes as that. I'll tell you that. You should re-gift them to me. I'll make them fit.
Cool.
Clown shoes.
Ronnie, since you sit behind all these horses, can you tell, like, since you've trained down Sweet Lou, foiled again, I mean, you know a good horse. Do you think you can kind of tell as you're training him down that it's going to be a good horse? Or is it when it comes to race time, that's when you're going to know?
I can tell Mark all the time. I can't tell you the good ones, but I can tell you the bad ones. And I think Mark's even seen it himself now. He comes and sees the babies train, and like he calls them ham sandwiches. It'll be like, those are nothing but ham sandwiches. I was like, they're not that bad. He's like, no, they're ham sandwiches. We can't, you start seeing ones that you think have talent, but some of them will disappoint you. It's very rare that one that you think stinks at 240 doesn't even stink more at 210. So yeah, I've gotten way better at picking out the bad ones quicker.
Now, Weaver, since you deal with a lot of the acquiring horses, what do you look for that you want to purchase?
Probably the main thing is the ability to earn money right off the bat. A good place for them to race. But we've got a few agents, too, that help out and call us when something comes available. And a lot of it, sometimes I get lazy and I'm not as active. But Ronnie will say, hey, we need few horses in Ohio, or we need a few horses in, at a certain location, and that'll kind of spur me on to get a little more active. But just kind of, we're always looking. But like this time of the year, it's hard because some tracks are closing, so we probably will be more in sell mode than buy mode.
Plus, right now we've just added 91 babies, so that stretches our staff, even thinner.
So you have so many horses racing. Obviously, we got to enter them in some claiming races. I know personally, if I had to put a horse that I put effort into get claimed, it would break my heart. Donnell has shared with me that she's shed a few tears. Do you guys get attached to some of them when you put them in claimers and they get claimed?
Not in the last 20 years. I mean, when I first started, you get the love the first one you have that gets claimed. After that, pretty much, don't put them in claimers if you don't want them claimed, so it doesn't bother me.
And we really don't even claim anymore. We got a couple knuckleheads at the Meadows that like to poke the bear, and we'll just claim back from them. But for the most part, we don't claim. I mean, we probably.
I'm more to claim than Mark is, because I'm like, it's part of the game. Claimers are claimers. You put them in there, it doesn't bother me when people claim off me, nor do I expect people to be upset when I claim off them. They always say, you took that guy's last horse. Well, you got a $10,000 check he could take and claim 2 5s, and then he'd have 2 horses now. See, I did him a favor. But people don't see it that way.
All right, that's a better way to look at it then.
Yeah.
Take the heart out of it.
Exactly.
That's what I said. Claimers it's a great part of the game. I love it still. And it doesn't bother me at all. But, it's just, we don't have as much time to do it. I would wish we had more time to do it. I like it. It's fun.
Yep. I love to claim. I don't like when they're claimed from me, but I love to claim them.
Yeah. So can't have it both ways. That's what I tell people all the time when they cry when claim, did you raise this horse? No, it's fine.
I think it's a good way to get people started too. Like claiming horses, getting a horse that's already racing. And that's how a good way to get your foot in the door as an owner is doing some of the claiming. Yeah,
100%. It's a great way to start.
I think there might be an earthquake at Ronnie's house or something.
I think my hand is tired of holding this. I usually put it on my computer. But I didn't do it today.
Well, we'll make it even quicker. We're going to do, since you're on the Hot to Trot podcast, we're going to do some rapid fire hot seat questions that aren't horse related. It's just for our viewers to kind of get to know you and have some fun questions. So are you ready for it?
Ready.
You just answer real quick.
All right. Our first question is, would you rather? So you pick one of these would you rather items. Would you rather give up the internet for 1 month or give up showering for 1 month? Right?
Well, Mark gave up showering, so I guess that's not a question for you. So I would say give up showering too.
Yeah, I basically have given it up already. So that's a no-brainer. That's an easy one.
Is that one of your superstitions that you gave it up for, or what?
No, I don't really have to get up and go to work, and I shower enough, but that would be an easy one. I could not give up the internet.
Yeah, neither could I. No shot.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
All right, Mark, what is your favorite toppings to put on your pizza?
Pepperoni and sausage. Pretty simple. And I love pizza. I'm going to have to get it tonight after answering this.
Ronnie, what's your favorite pizza toppings?
Same. Yeah, that's why we could go and get pizza together. It's pretty easy. We're ordering the same pizza.
Makes a great partnership.
Yeah. I think you guys will have the same answer for the next one because you kind of talked about it. What's your favorite vacation spot? Or has it changed since?
You know what? It was Charleston. It's still always going to be. I do love it. I mean, me and him went to Turks and Caicos once. Mm-hmm. That's the nicest place I've ever been. So it would be either Turks or Charleston so far in my life.
Yeah, we both spend a lot of the winter in Florida. We've done that for the last 4 or 5 years, and that's great, but it's not really a vacation. Mm-hmm. But I agree, Turks, I believe it was Ronnie's wife's 40th, but it was really 50th.
And it was incredible. Yeah.
At Turks, and it was awesome. Like, I can't wait to go back.
Oh, I've heard good things. That's where Dane and Spencer are.
We should plan a trip.
Yeah.
That's who TCI, that's what TCI is named after.
What?
Turks and Caicos.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what he was named after.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Who named him? You?
No, Bud Hatfield.
Yeah, Bud Hatfield, the majority owner. It was original name, I think, was Cantable, Canti.
Yeah, Canti.
Yeah, and he didn't really like the name, and Ronnie and Mickey Sr., they're usually not fans of changing names, but Bud said, "Can we change this one to TCI?" At the time, it was last February, and we said sure, and turned out to be the richest 2-year-old trotter in the history of racing. So it's kind of cool.
He was really good this year. Are you superstitious about changing the names? Is that why you don't like to?
No, it's just then the horses have 2 names, one on their halter, one on their bag. Just leads to more confusion. But we have one Marmalade something this year. It's definitely got to be changed to. I'm not calling it Marmalade. It's getting changed.
All right, another hot seat question. Would you rather give up music or TV for a month?
Music, not even close.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't listen. I love music in general. It can kind of change my mood. When you say TV, if it's TV shows, I would give that up. But if it's watching races,
yeah,
watching races, I keep the music.
So you don't really binge any TV shows, just horse racing.
And news, NBA, and racing. That's about it.
I did over COVID, Ozark and a few of the other Love is Blind or something. Few things my wife got me into, but since 90210 back in the day, that was probably the last thing that I watched.
Right, exactly.
All right, our final question for the hot seat is: do you sleep with your socks on or off, Ronnie?
I mean, you'd have to have some kind of mental disease to sleep with socks off. I'm sorry.
That's what I said. Ashley sleeps with them on. I think that's a serious killer thing.
That is right. You are going to kill somebody if you're sleeping.
Probably. I do love those murder mystery shows. Mark, I guess you're going to answer you sleep with no socks.
Well, certainly now I wouldn't admit it, but yes, I don't sleep with socks. That would be a little too much.
I get cold feet.
Nope. Serial killer.
Put a blanket on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have for Hot to Trot today. So thank you for joining us on the hot seat. And that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for coming on.
See you guys.
Now it's time for our Racing for Love segment, but before we head into it, we want to thank our sponsor that made all this possible for us. So thank you to the Standardbred Breeders of Pennsylvania. Without them, Hot to Trot wouldn't be started and we wouldn't be able to do these fun segments like Racing for Love.
I'm so thankful for the opportunity they've given us. So on this segment of Racing for Love, we have Penn National trainer Erin McClellan Connor and her husband, John Connor. So I am super excited about this couple because Erin is my girl crush. So she is just such an inspirational woman in the industry, and I am so excited to talk to them more about their first year and a half of marriage.
Yeah, it has to be fun. A trainer, a farrier, mix them together. It has to be a fun couple dynamic.
I hope she gets a discount on her farrier bills because all I hear from people is I should have married a vet or a farrier because they get a lot of my business. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it, and I hope you enjoy.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you tonight on our segment, Racing for Love. So thank you guys for joining us.
You're welcome.
I am such a fangirl of you, Erin. I have to say, I already told you multiple times, you're my girl crush. So John, worry because I'm here. And I just look up to you so much. You are a great role model. It's awesome to see such strong women in training and racing thoroughbreds. And I think you do a fabulous job with your horses and your team at Penn National. And I look up to you a lot. As a mentor.
Thank you.
So with that being said, as I bow down to you, we have a lot of questions for you guys because I think it's great that we have so many cool relationships in our industry. A lot of people meet, their significant others because you're at the track all the time. So you and John are technically newlyweds, and you've been married now a year and a half. Got married Cinco de Mayo, 2021. 2022.
Yeah.
2022. I'm not good at math.
It's okay. Me neither. Just ask him.
That's good to know. So he keeps the date. He makes sure he hits.
Yeah.
Tell us how you guys met.
Mostly because we're both at the track all the time. So that's how we met. Actually, years ago, before we were dating, that wasn't even a thought, I don't think, for either of us, but we were actually in the same barn. And then it was several years after that and a couple relationship disasters for both of us that we ended up dating each other.
You'll have those disasters. That happens, especially in the horse industry.
It does, yeah.
So it was a blending of two families. So how did that go?
Kind of. So for him, his kids are older. So obviously you guys know Tyler Connor.
Mhm.
That's John's son, and he has a daughter as well. And she's a florist, so she's doesn't do anything with horses, but she's pretty awesome. And then my son, of course, was younger, actually at a tough age. Jay was at a tough age when we started dating. And so, Tyler and Natalie never lived with us, but of course, Jay got to finish his junior high and high school years with John, and then his college years, which is happening right now. So I guess we kind of blended, but his kids were older, so it wasn't a total like of our siblings, of the kids all living together under one roof, but they do all get along.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, since you're the numbers guy, are you the romantic one? How did you propose?
Oh, boy.
I feel like this is going to be the story.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny. Go ahead, Lovey. Go ahead.
I was getting something out of the bottom of my closet next to the bed, and she was laying in bed looking at me, and I said, "Do you want to get hitched?" Actually, it wasn't real romantic, but it worked.
I like it. I think that's
I was already
fun.
down there, so I figured, what the hell?
Did you have a ring, or you just were like, we're going to get married?
No ring.
I like it.
No, but that's the best, because then you get to go pick out what you want. And she probably, had the high standards. So
Right.
you had to go to the
She
store
did.
with her.
Pick out what she wanted.
Smart woman. That's
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
to do it.
Right?
Well, that's awesome. I think that's a cute story. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing too much. And it felt right, right?
It's
So you're already
very
down there.
John. That's a very John way of doing things. So I've learned with him, he's just always, I don't know. He's extremely thoughtful, but it's not in the way of like flowers and like big things like that. He's just extremely thoughtful every single day, which for me is way better actually than having 3 times a year having some sort of over the top, you know what I mean, thing. Although he did just tell me what my Christmas and birthday present is, and it's pretty over the top. So I take that
Ooh, what
back.
is
You're
it?
doing good.
Yeah, what is it?
I have wanted a dining room table for like 6 months, and I had it picked out, but didn't want to spend enough money on, or I didn't want to spend that much money, and so he and his
It's
kids.
coming tomorrow,
It's
so I
coming
didn't want her to
tomorrow.
make any plans for
Yeah.
me in the afternoon. That's why I told her.
Yeah, so he and his kids bought it for me. So yeah, so he just told me that literally before we got on with you guys. Yeah,
Well, that's just in time for the holidays. And also you have your family that everyone gets to utilize
Yeah,
it and gather
exactly.
and
Yeah,
celebrate. That's a good gift. That's a very thoughtful gift.
it is a very thoughtful gift. It's the right one and everything. Yeah, so he does.
Exactly
Give my
what you
daughter
wanted.
credit. I mean, she kind of, it was her idea a little bit, but yes, it worked out.
It's nice to have daughters to like give
Yeah.
you that nudge.
It is.
The direction. John, since you're a farrier and you're at the track lot, and of course of your son too, being a jockey, and now your wife is a trainer, like that, you're pretty involved in the industry as well. Do you get to work with all Erin's horses and shoe them all?
Yeah, I mean, I go out in the morning and watch the horses train, and then I come back and shoot 1 or 2. So it's good because I get to watch them go, and kind of if they have any issues with interfering or whatever, you can alter some stuff showing them. But I basically just whatever. I watch them train, I show them, and
He's
I
my
put
assistant trainer.
I put my 2 cents in every now and again about some things. But I let her do her thing, and I do my thing on that end, and it seems to work out.
He trained horses for years too, so he's taught me a lot. He's taught me a lot about. He actually had, trained a lot longer than me, when we got together. So he brought a lot to the table on the training side, and the condition book side, especially the condition book. Yeah. for me.
So would you say you guys work well together, like can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and work that way?
I think we do.
I say okay a lot.
Yes, that's that.
Smart.
We do work really, really good together. And we never fight ever. So I think, we both have different strengths. I was trying to come up with the right word, but we both have different strengths. And combined, they work well together. And, when you know how it is, sometimes I think more things go wrong in racing than right. And sometimes it is something maybe you could have done better or we could have done better, but we never blame each other. We never point fingers. We just try to do better, So
I calm her down.
He does calm me down. I get pretty wound up sometimes. And it's actually usually
things you can't control.
It is. Yeah. There's a lot of things you can't control when I get really stressed out, and he really helps.
I love that.
Like
you balance well
he really is he definitely keeps me steady. Like I wouldn't want to do it without him. That's for sure. Cause he really helps me manage the stress and like my anxiety that comes with a lot of the things we do. So
people,
he puts things in perspective for you.
He does. Actually, yes, he does. He really does.
I love that. He has a very calming vibe. I got to meet you like twice in the morning when we showed up with a news crew.
Yeah.
And you were just very chill and just going throughout your day. I was like, wow, he's like just very relaxed and very calming. He's a little bit nervous being on camera. So
that's
I
him.
Get it. Well, you're her rock, and we all need one. A strong woman has an even stronger guy behind her. So I think that's great with couples that he balances you.
He does. Yep.
JC, do you want to talk about how of a strong woman that Erin is and a trainer? How is it
really
to
don't want to talk. No, she does a good job. She's good with the horses. The people she deals with very well, because that was probably my greatest weakness training horses, was the people, because they're not always realistic about the horses, and it's just she does a much better job with that than I would ever do. But she's good with the horses, and she would be fine without me. She's full of,
she's full of spitfire. She's So Erin, we're gonna ask you some funner questions now. If you could plan the perfect date and go anywhere in the world you would want, where would you go and what would that date be?
Montana, and ride with him. He hasn't galloped horses for quite a few years. And he told me the only time he would ever ride again is if it was in Montana. So that's it. That would be my perfect date. Montana, out in those beautiful mountains on horses.
I like that.
Yeah. Very Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Very Yellowstone. Exactly. Yes.
Western.
Fun, is that your perfect date too? You want to go riding?
What'd you say?
Is that your perfect date? Yeah, probably not. Go ahead.
Take the old Harley for a 3-day cruise. I'd take her with me, of course. But yeah, that would be, we never get away. So it's just when we do, it's nice. Some afternoons or evenings we get on a bike and we go somewhere or go nowhere. And it's a little relaxing. And so if we could get away on a bike a couple days somewhere, that would be fun for me.
What kind of Harley do you have?
I have 2, but the one we ride is a Street Glide, just a wee bike. It's a little bigger, has fairing. It's very comfortable. Well, I think it is.
Is it comfortable, Erin?
It's pretty comfortable. It's definitely very comfortable than the bike he had when we got together. I will say that. So yes, I'm glad we got this one.
Since you guys are always racing, and that takes up, obviously it's a lifestyle, horse racing. Is there something you guys like to do that you get to do when it's like time to be done at the barn, or it's pretty much racing's the lifestyle?
we go out to eat and ride. We ride the bike a little bit in the summer, when it's nice out. And other than that, we really don't get away much or things to do. But we do go out to eat a bit, just to, even if it's lunch, we'll go somewhere and have lunch and just whatever, have a couple drinks and be together. And, we don't do a lot outside of the horses. But that's everything.
It's hard.
That's everybody.
It's really
is there a favorite restaurant that you guys have been frequenting lately? Go ahead.
Well, since we live closer to Harrisburg now, so we've been going to the Glass Lounge a little bit, and that's okay. And we've eaten lunch at Moose's a lot out it's out by Indiantown Gap. So, nothing fancy, just nice restaurants, good food,
good company. That's what matters.
Yeah. We'll have to check out the Glass House when you come out for Farm Show.
We'll love it, and it's close to there. So
it's just an old restaurant. It's not fancy, but the food's very good, and it's actually hard to get in sometimes. If there's only a couple of people, it's not bad, but they're very busy.
If it's dinner, you need like a 3-day ahead reservation for dinner. Lunch, you'll probably be okay. But I'm just throwing that out there, just so you know. Yeah,
we'll make this day. We'll let you guys know. Maybe you'll join us.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with that being said, when you guys go out to eat and when it's time to come home from the track and the barn, do you guys try not to talk about horse racing and the horses, or is it always kind of creeping into conversation?
I mean, we have to talk about it sometimes, it's just, but if we're sitting around, no, we try to get away a little bit from that, whatever, it doesn't control our daily 24/7. We have a dog, she takes her for walks. So like we talk about the dog, actually we talk to the dog. But
what kind of dog?
Yeah. She's a pit bull. Yeah.
She's some kind of mutt.
Yeah.
She's sleeping behind us.
I know mine's sleeping. I'm like, please don't bark during this interview, because earlier he did.
She's too lazy to bark.
We have a pit bull too, and he's pretty lazy.
Yeah.
We have a nice little Brindle pit bull. They make great dogs.
They do.
They're so loving, and they're quick learners. Well, I would love to get you guys to give any, couples that are younger, like Donnell, who are in a relationship and looking to go, the distance like you guys. Any advice that you have for them with dating in the industry?
Yeah, I'm full of advice. Don't make things tough. Don't make mountains out of molehills, and I think everything will work out. Horses are horses. They're, it's things happen, things go right, things go wrong. Sometimes more wrong than right. But you can't, it's usually not somebody's fault. So you can't blame the other one. Or my son's a jockey, so I have a problem with people blaming jockeys for, horse gets beat 32 lengths and they say, well, what was he doing? What was he doing? I don't know. He was twisting the throttle. The horse just wasn't going. I don't know. So I would just, don't make big deals out of things that aren't big deals.
I think compliment each other too. I think it's really important. When it's easy to take for granted if you work together all the time, it's really easy to take for granted the other person and how much they do, or maybe how good at something they actually are. So like compliments go, a long way.
Yeah, you always hear what you're doing wrong. Sometimes you don't hear what
you're doing right. And I think it's really important to let, especially if you're working together, your significant other know, they're.
And she's very easy to work with. So that's, she's not difficult. I've been with people that are hard to work with. So yeah, I don't know. We just work well together. Hopefully it keeps going.
Oh, that's nice. Last and final question. In 15 years from now, where do you guys see yourselves as a couple? What would you like to be doing?
training horses.
Riding.
Probably.
I hope I'm still here.
It's still
Yeah. I mean, yeah, hopefully it's a little easier, and I don't know. It's hard to predict tomorrow, but hopefully it's just same old, and things have went well for 15 years. That would be great.
Yeah, it's funny.
I want to see you guys with t-shirts that say Grandma and Pop Pop.
Oh, you know
World's best
what?
grandma.
My son's our last hope, and I don't know. He doesn't ever date anybody either, so like I don't know. I mean, John's daughter's married, but they don't want kids, and then Tyler, his girlfriend's older, so it's not looking good for him either. So it's all hanging on my son, and he hasn't had a girlfriend since the sophomore year of high school, and now he's 21. So I don't know how that's going to go. But
he's young.
Yeah.
Fun. It's fun.
Not years. Maybe in 15 years he'll decide to get a girlfriend.
We'll see. I would love it though if we did have grandkids actually down the road. That would be pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. It was so great to have you guys on. You gave some good advice too. So I think this is a good takeaway for people listening to our segment.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you and best of luck.
Thank you. You guys too.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's Hot to Trot. What a good episode it was. We had Mark Weaver, Ronnie Burke, and of course our Racing for Love couple. So it was so fun talking to everyone, and what a fun episode we had.
Yes, make sure you tune in to our next podcast and stay tuned.
Thanks for listening, and thank you to the Standardbred Breeders of Pennsylvania for sponsoring Hot to Trot. We'll see you next time.